Welcome guys, it's your boy PSGINT here, back to another video, and today we will having the podcast talking about Pochettino's possible replacements after his incoming sacking this summer. I have Princess yet again with me here on the podcast. How are you doing, Princess?
I'm doing well. I'm back. Thank you for
You're
having me.
welcome. So, people enjoyed the last podcast, so we're bringing yet again a new one. I asked on Twitter if you wanted a review on Pochettino's stint at Paris Saint-Germain or looking at the possible uh, manager replacements when he departures Paris Saint-Germain. Holding my fingers. But, I mean, PSG really need to sack this guy. Is it 100% for you, or do you still believe that there's some chance that he won't leave with him having a 1 year contract left at Paris Saint Germain?
Excuse me? There is absolutely no chance he's practically sacked right now. I mean, the only reason why he's still here is because they couldn't get anyone else. They're still in this entire hunt for the perfect manager that fits all of their requirements that they have yet to find over the course of the last decade and that the club has never found. So, which
Yeah.
is why we're making this video.
And I read the report that Paris Saint Germain will start with the big changes, that being the sacking of Pochettino, the kicking of Leonardo after the league end has been concluded, or at least won by Paris Saint Germain. So we will have to wait a bit. But we will straight away get into this. So the first one is, of course, the dream that most Paris Saint Germain fans want, and that's Zinedine Zidane. Um First of all, let's talk about the arguments people have why Zidane should be against this job, and it's because he's waiting for the France job, and then it's that I would say a bit stupid argument that he's a Marseille fan. What do you have to say about that?
The Marseille fan thing is the least of my issues because we have Laurent Blanc who was there for like 3 years and played for Marseille. I don't think that's much of an issue. That might be an issue for Marseille fans more than anything. I think one of my hangups is actually it's not a hang up, but it's an observation that when you look at Zidane, you associate him with Real Madrid and the work that he has done as a manager. If we're talking about his managerial career at Real Madrid. And so there's always this, conversation about can he do it elsewhere,
Yeah,
especially a project like, the ones that we have at PSG.
yeah,
This is something that has our project never really reached where it was supposed to go. So because of his proven record at Real Madrid with the Champions League especially,
yeah,
is can he do it here? Is he able to replicate it here, or is it because of his players? Is it because of the environment that was there that allowed him to do that? That is a question that I have, and that is one of the risks that comes with getting Zidane because
yeah,
he's not very technically strict, kind of flowy. He lets people, he gives the players space. Is that something that we need? Those types of questions come to me.
yeah. For me, before the elimination in the Champions League, I wanted Zidane because that's the project we were going for and everything. But now that we have went out and I want a new direction, everything new, I think that bringing in Zidane, it's in the wrong direction. A lot of it is because he's an ambassador at the 2022 World Cup, and we all know how much PSG is related to the World Cup in winter this year. Plus, as you said, he isn't that much of a tactician. He's more of a motivator. He doesn't play the youth that much, so there's still that problem. And if we were still going for the project, yes, he's perfect. He's a Galactico manager. But the problem is, we have seen that this Galactico strategy of buying superstars doesn't really work here at Paris Saint Germain. So bringing him in, it just continuing on uh, this steep end, this bad road that we have tried for so long and not accomplished anything in it. So I'm against the signing of Zidane, at least after the elimination against Real Madrid. Um, if you look at his stats and everything, I mean, his preferred formation is a 4-3-3, very similar to what Pochettino uses. Points per game is 2.04, 69 wins, 25 draws, and 20 losses.
Mm, see, now. See, that's the thing, right? Would this be another Pochettino
Yeah,
in that sense? You know, this could be a Poch 2.0, but I think because Zidane is a little bit more proven, it kind of shuts that down
mm,
somewhat. But I don't like the more of a hands-off attitude because it's proven to not work
yeah,
with our players. And it doesn't go with like what you said before. It doesn't go with what the club now says it's trying to do with, you know, cleaning up the project and
yeah,
what the fans want, which is more of a thing. I think the board sees this as he's French and he's proven and he can get us trophies, and that's I think what this doesn't scream anything to me that says that, oh, this is gonna work here. It doesn't.
exactly. It's more same thing with Pochettino. As you said in the last podcast, they looked at what he did with Spurs and everything, and the same they're doing with Zidane. They're looking at, oh, he did this with Real Madrid, won 3 Champions Leagues. That means when he comes here, he will definitely win one. That's not how he works. I don't think that Zidane will work that well at Paris Saint-Germain. First of all, he's not that good in league. At Real Madrid, he wasn't that good in the league. Yes, he was against a top Barcelona side, but still mostly focused on that Champions League. And we don't want that anymore. We want Paris Saint-Germain to focus on the team and every competition as we did before. And yeah, as I said, he's
Now
a
the 4-3-3,
continuation.
the 4-3-3 thing with
Yeah,
two wing backs, that might not be the best case scenario because we do play better with the back three.
yeah. And
Yeah,
Zidane
so
isn't
that's
the
questionable.
flexible manager that will adapt his styles to PSG's players. And
Yeah, have you heard what he said about his own stats? Like, he doesn't consider himself to be like a very good tactical manager, and it's like, really,
yeah,
this is starting to look unconvincing because I really did want him in the beginning. I really did. Because
but
coming after a loss and a bad season, you want anybody. You think anybody would do better.
but do you think that your your interest has gone down after that Real Madrid defeat, or was it before?
It's gone down because I started thinking more
Yeah,
about where we really want this club in this project to be going.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean that Real Madrid loss, it's a blessing in disguise because it finally showed us PSG fans and hopefully the PSG directors that we need to start building a foundation. We need to give a manager at least 4 or 5 seasons to build something great. And then we can achieve, and then we can believe and have hope in the Champions League and so on. But
Hmm.
expecting it every season, it's bad for the fans, it's bad for the players, it's bad for the board, it's bad for the club. It's bad for everyone expecting because we're always like, all right, next season. Oh yeah, I feel this season we're gonna win the Champions League, and then we go out, and then we're like, all right, next season. But we can't be doing that. We have to steadily improve until we get so good that the Champions League comes to us, not that we have
Hmm.
to go to it. But
Yes, absolutely.
but with the final being played in Paris as well, it's a big heartbreak. It's a big heartbreak, and please, please listen. So the predicted,
Life keeps,
yeah,
sorry, life keeps showing us, like, it keeps dangling this fruit in front of our face every single year. It's
mm,
absolutely horrid that
the
it's playing in Paris.
yeah. I mean the remontada, the United, all these defeats before have not singled that alert. The alert hasn't started at the club and for the fans. But I believe that us losing to an average Real Madrid side so early after we had so big hopes in the summer signing players like Lionel Messi, Ashraf Hakimi, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, Nunes, and Jorginho Wijnaldum in one transfer window, and then collapsing like this, not even going to the semis or the quarters in the Coupe de France, it's a big shame. But if you look at the predicted lineup, as we said, he plays a 4-3-3 at Real Madrid. He had Carvajal and Marcelo as the wing backs. So he doesn't like to play two offensive wing backs at a time. He had Hakimi, but he loaned him out and later on sold him. So he will most probably play with one attacking and one defensive wing back to have a bit of stability. With him, as you said, playing a more fluid, open football. Do you think? I mean, he has managed some players like Navas, Ramos, a bit of Hakimi, and has great connections with Kylian Mbappe. But
Right.
but as you said, it's especially with him playing a 4-3-3. It's a lot of the same thing as Pochettino. Yes, a bit better. Yes, improved. But is it really what we want and what we need?
I don't think we need a back four with the players that we have right now. I mean, we've kind of been seeing something like this. This still leaves us very vulnerable in the back.
Yeah,
Um, I see Navas making a lot of saves.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the only plus really is having Ramos there instead of Kimpembe because I'm not saying Kimpembe is bad. I'm just saying that like I think Ramos he has a better idea of how to keep order of the back line and work with other people's
mm,
weaknesses,
yeah,
especially players who do have weaknesses in the midfields, which I know you have Gay here, but when Ramos played with Danilo on the pitch, he really worked around him. He worked with his shortcomings and stuff. It was very interesting. And so Danilo became a better player because of it.
yeah,
Um, that's more on Ramos though. Um, Not so much on the tactics. It's working in spite of the tactics
yeah, yeah, yeah,
rather because of it. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of people are gonna disagree with this. The back line's gonna look not that different. Although I do find Bernat being there and Hakimi also being there, having two different contributions to this. It would be interesting to see what that looks like. We did see it before. It didn't work out either, but you know.
yeah, yeah. You might as well try
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah, just to see it one more time.
yeah, but as you said, I mean, if you look at the personnel we have, a three at the back is better suited, or a more fluid backline that becomes at least a three at the back. Like in the beginning of Tuchel, we sometimes played the four at the back, but in game it was so flexible that it moved to a three at the back to compensate
Yes.
for. And we didn't even have world class wing backs as we do now, like Kerrer and
Yeah.
yeah, Prime Bernat of course, but still a big difference from Hakimi and Nuno. And as you talked about Kimpembe, I mean, with him being a more aggressive and not that experienced and so on as a centre back, he suits much more and had his prime years in a three at the back because then his mistakes don't cost us that much as it does when we have a two at the back.
Yes, that I agree on the Kimpembe part, especially.
Yeah, do you have anything to add more on Zinedine Zidane to Paris Saint Germain? So we can end it off with a rating of how good he will be at Paris Saint Germain and how likely he is to join Paris Saint Germain. So, what are the two ratings for you? How likely is he to join Paris Saint Germain?
I think it's lowered since since the beginning because the conversations between the club and Zidane have not like continued since probably January. I know it's their dream to bring him over, but uh, Geez, I think that France job is getting a little bit closer, probably within the next year. Even if he came, it wouldn't be for that long. I would give it a 5 that he comes, 50-50.
And how would he work out at PSG?
6.
I would
Yeah.
say him coming to PSG, similar to you, 5, 4 even maybe. I don't think that he would come to PSG. And how good he would be, yeah, pretty same. I mean, just a little bit of improvement than Pochettino, but still not near enough what we want and need. Moving on
Might
from
be, wait, he might be
yeah,
good for the locker room.
yeah, he will.
We didn't talk about that.
But I mean, the mentality will of course get better. But I think that him coming in, it's still that pressure of if he comes in, as you said, he really wants that French job, so he won't be here for long, and we'll be expecting a Champions League in the coming 2 years, and that won't work. We don't want that. It hasn't worked. It won't work. So I don't think that
Yeah.
even his effect in the locker room will change the PSG mentality as we want. If we move on, we have Antonio Conte. You said a lot of reports telling that he's one of the maybe at least top three for this job. What have you read about it? How close it is? Is it? And yeah.
Well, as of today, he is probably the most, it looks like he's the most likely to replace Pochettino as of today. I think last time I checked, there were conversations that were going on with his people. They, the report said that they believe that Conte would bring soul to the club. You know, like the soul
Hmm.
that they're looking for would come from Conte. That's again debatable. There's a lot of ifs on that. Um, yeah, I think right now this is the first real move that seems the most serious to me, and I don't see him staying at Tottenham either. So, yeah.
I mean, if you look at his stint so far in Tottenham, what position are they in the league?
Not even sure. Proper mid-table.
And out from the Conference League already.
But they were out, I think,
Oh, before he joined.
before Conte, but probably. Oh, they're number 8 on the table.
I
They're
mean,
eighth.
yet again, he's a short-term manager. At Chelsea, at Inter, when he didn't get what he wanted, he left. At Chelsea, I mean, Diego Costa, who won in the league, and then the season after, he was like, all right, we don't need you, buddy. We can't have this kind of a manager, this toxic manager. We already have too much toxicity at this club, and we don't want that. Plus, you looked at his Champions League experience, he doesn't have any. And of course, we shouldn't just be aiming for that Champions League, but it's important to at least have achieved something. Even Pochettino, he had reached the final with Spurs. But I mean, Conte, with the Juventus side he had for a long time, he even got. I mean, he made Juventus into a top team, winning the league, and then he got sacked for didn't do anything in the Champions League, and then Allegri came and took them to two Champions League finals.
Hmm.
So he's good at building a squad. He's good at doing what he needs to do. But other than that, he's not a special. He's not a special manager. He's not. If you look at his stats at Inter Milan, preferred formation 3-5-2, 2.11 points per game, 64 wins, 23 draws, and 15 losses. It's good. Antonio Conte is mostly a good league manager, but with Liga not being as competitive as Serie A and as Premier League, it's not what we're looking for. And he's not someone who brings up youth either. He's one that, I mean, at Inter, he took in Ashley Young and Victor Moses. I don't want that PSG. But one more, can you add on it? One more they have to say about Antonio Conte, looking at his stats. And what can you say about his stint at Inter, which was far successful than his current Spurs then?
Yeah, this is I feel like this is the board, their fear is talking again. This is once again another manager, like you said, that's going to take us right back into that trap of quick success. And Conte is someone with a shorter temper. He's very honest when he's displeased. I mean, his last his last few post-match interviews really prove that. He does not mince his words. He There are some questionable things that he says. So imagine in a club like PSG where you don't even need anyone to be so honest all the time. It will get leaked anyway. And people would make money off of clicks off of our club. Imagine how much more attention Conte's honesty, should I say, would bring to the club.
Yeah.
He's a short-term manager that yells more. Um, that's it. I think it's the fact that maybe he would bring something to the locker room. He'll probably bring more discipline. I think that's what they see in him. His European record, it just is not convincing at all. It kind of, what more is it gonna give us? Unless, there's any signs of it getting better. He did well at Inter, considering their financial
Yeah.
issues that they were going through at the time, especially where they had to, which we got Hakimi out of it. I mean, but he did okay. He's someone who does need money. He needs to be backed. He needs good investment, and he
Yeah.
needs something that's a challenge for him. This is certainly a challenge
Yeah.
for him. Right, because we're asking him to accomplish something that he's never done before.
Nor has the club.
So,
So it's
right.
even harder for him.
That's one of the risks. So, you never know, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening with him either.
Yeah. But if we take a look at the positives with Antonio Conte, I mean he's a hard man. So that's the big difference between him and Pochettino. He won't let any player get over him, even if it's Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, anyone. He will say what he wants to say. He can bench players if he wants to bench them. And he can change players mentally. I mean, we saw what he did with Lukaku. Lukaku was a burger, McDonald's, Subway merchant at United. Came to Inter Milan and he transformed him into one of the deadliest strikers in the world. And now Lukaku has gone back to Chelsea and gone back to the Burger King guy again. So it shows that Antonio Conte can really change up a player's mentality. Do you see any players at Paris Saint-Germain who would benefit from his mentality?
Now that you ask it, I actually have an easier time thinking of players that he would probably have issues with more than getting help.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's is this even the right way to give them discipline or like have a more orderly conduct inside of the locker room? Is this how we're going to do it? I don't see this as a thing. It's very much dictatorship reputation that Conte has.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not is a different story, but I don't know who would benefit. Hakimi. I think Nuno would do well. Hakimi, of course, he already played with him.
Yeah.
Ugh. The midfield is gonna have a problem.
Maybe
What is he
him.
gonna do with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at most of his teams, his midfield has been one of the, I mean, he really wants a good midfield. At Chelsea had Fabregas, Kante, Matic. At Inter, Brozovic, Barella.
But look at how he's worked with Tottenham, though.
Who
He
does
can
he have?
get it out of them, just not consistently.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, exactly. That City win, but then a loss to Burnley,
Yeah.
and it shows that maybe he's a he's like a finals manager. If you have one game and you need to win it, maybe then Antonio Conte is good. But for a season and many seasons, he's not that good. He collapses. He wins in the beginning, and we saw that with Chelsea. In the first season, he goes in there, changes what needs to change, improves, but then when the other seasons come, that's when his true side is shown. When he starts fighting with players, when he starts fighting with the board, starts doing stupid stuff, starts losing games, and I mean that's PSG in a nutshell in a season.
Yeah.
I mean, one good thing about him is his his formation. Plays a three at the back. Has played that for every club he has managed in, and it suits PSG's personnel. As you said, Hakimi already managed him, and Hakimi, his prime, his best year was with Antonio Conte in Inter Milan. Hakimi always talks about it in the days at Inter Milan where he flourished defensively, attackingly, didn't have that much of a problem. And same can be said for Nunmenj. I mean, playing again under a manager that will play him as a left wing back will improve Nunmenj so much. He has already improved defensively now in the four backs formation, but imagine his attacking qualities being flourished as well. Using a three at the back, it will suit Kimpembe more. It will suit Donnarumma more, who doesn't have that best of a ball skills. By having three centre backs in front of him, it will be easier for him to pass to someone and organize that defense. And then in the attack, he usually plays with two movable wingers slash cams. Chelsea had Eden Hazard, and Eden Hazard had one of his best seasons there under Antonio Conte when they won the league. But the midfield will be a problem because Verratti works perfectly. But when you play a three at the back, when you only have two central midfielders, they need to be extremely good at both defending and attacking. Verratti is that, but I don't think that Paredes, Guy, Danilo, Herrera, any of our current midfielders will fit into that. What do you have to say about
Gay
this?
he's questionable for me in this entire scenario. I don't think this will work out for him at all. Because anything that resembles this has not worked out for Gay at all, or even any of the other midfielders, Herrera, you name it. Yeah. But the three at the back is great. And I know, I just feel it that Nuno is just dying to really push out that attacking side out of him because he is meant for, being a wing back. Yes, he has improved defensively, but I think this is more of his forte. And the rest, it's always a conundrum about what do you want to put like Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, like where you put them, how you put them is always a question. Really depends on manager. So this is the most unpredictable part about these lineups. Yeah, you never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said also, that he likes to spend and likes to be backed from the board. So, I mean, players maybe like Ramos, he would change. And as you said, Idrissa Guy, he would probably buy a midfielder that suits and can play alongside Verratti. But that's still a question mark. It's not a guarantee, it's a question mark. Next up, Erik Ten Hag. Now the positive vibe starts. Now the way, the good direction that we have been talking about. Erik Ten Hag managed Ajax for so long, took them to the semi-final with that Delict De Jong squad, and yeah, this season capitulated against Benfica, but still had an amazing group stage and made players like Haller and Anthony look like real elite players at the top. So, what can you say about Ten Hag? What do you know about him, and how good will he really be for Paris Saint-Germain? Is he a good fit?
Hard to say if he's a good fit, but I'll tell you, I did see a couple of Ajax games, not all too much this season. I did catch a little bit of the UCL game with against Benfica. Um, Good thing is that he's done well for Ajax. He's done good for them. The players are Anthony, I think, is incredible. His philosophy seems to work well on them.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of teamwork, his kind of style of play. Um, my thing is, this whole thing about, they did well in the group stage, and then finally, when they reached Benfica, it didn't work out, and they didn't come back to it, and it's like this amazing start, and then this shaky finish. It's how it happened that bothered me, because when I watch tournament style football, it's usually, the most consistent ones really, they're going to get found out later and they're going to get knocked out. But then when you see the ones who struggle a little bit and then fight back a little bit and make it through, they seem to weather the storm. That's one of our issues at PSG, is weathering the storm.
Yeah.
If this is his trait, or if this is just his team that he's working with that has that issue, it has me thinking, but I'm not gonna hold it against him. It's not his fault. Like I'm not gonna hold it against him, but it's a note has been taken.
Yeah.
I'm watching that.
I mean, if you look at that season where they reached the semi-final, they played good against experienced Real Madrid side who had just come from winning their third Champions Leagues in a row. Won against Juventus in the game at Allianz Arena. But bottled it, and I mean bottled it, versus Tottenham. Versus Tottenham. How can you bottle versus a Butler? But, I mean, is that a good sign, PSG? Should we hire someone like him? I mean, he's a young manager, not that experienced, and he managed a club like Ajax, who have won Champions League. Yes, it was a very long time ago. And he lost players during every season, like Dolberg, De Ligt, De Jong. The list goes on and on. Van de Beek. But he has always managed to rebuild and adapt. But maybe now at Paris Saint-Germain, he won't have that problem. He won't lose his star players. He will make them even better. I mean, imagine if De Jong had stayed under him and De Ligt for a couple more seasons.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. He could probably bring more stability. He's more of a long-term type of project manager. I think I can see that for him. That brings a lot of stability. We don't lose players all too often like that. Hopefully he gets the players he wants, because it's interesting, because very rarely is he ever put in a position where he would get what he wants, keep what he wants. So that's still a question in the air. What would it look like? That's also a risk to take on him.
True. If you look at his stats, Ajax plays a 4-3-3 formation, as you said, very hardworking, very attacking, very flexible, using players like Martinez, Mazraoui, Tagliafico, wing backs, and a centre back that can do both the offensive and defensive. His points per game are 2.34, 134 wins, 22 draws, and 25 losses. A lot of them are in the Eredivisie, and we know that's not one of the hardest leagues in the world. But still, he has done some great stuff in the Champions League. But there is still a big gap from this season. Even though they went out in the round of the 16, they had a good group stage and that semi-final team. It's still a big gap. And that maybe shows that he can't consistently do this, but that may be a part because he always has to rebuild and adapt in new players into his system. I mean,
Yeah.
going from Eredivisie to Ligue 1, is it that big of a step up, do you think?
No, I don't even see it that way. Honestly, I don't even hold any of his performances in the Champions League either against him.
Mm.
Because like you said, he does have to consistently rebuild. So it just shows, if anything, it shows how solid he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but he needs players that press.
Does
We'll
he
talk
have
about that
players
later.
that press? That's a
No,
good
I'm
question.
talking about us. I'm
I
talking about
mean,
what we would do.
yeah. I mean, but the thing is with Ten Hag, he's one of those managers that we will have competition for. He's heavily linked with the
Hmm.
United job, as well as the man that we should not bring up. Uh, it, what do you, if you can go into Ten Hag's perspective? Would he want to go to Manchester United or Paris Saint-Germain?
Maybe. I think he's leaving Ajax. I
Yeah,
think that's what he's planning on doing.
yeah,
So he has to go somewhere, right? Um, these are big opportunities that are hard to pass down. I think anyone who has them would benefit greatly. He would do great at United. I mean, if he could really get through to the players.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Would he want to? Yeah, maybe. Would he want to come to PSG? Debatable. I haven't seen anything that
Mm,
looks like he would. Actually, I haven't seen anything. We're just linked to him.
yeah.
So, yeah, hard to say.
I mean, similarities between him and Zidane is first of all they're bald, but the more important thing is that he has so far only managed Ajax, so it's still that question mark: can he do it at another club in a different league? And the other thing is, can he really step up to that big club? I know Ajax have won Champions Leagues, they have a rich history, but in current time, Ajax is more like a club like Dortmund, which is total opposite to Paris Saint Germain.
If he didn't sell players every now and then, if he just,
Yeah,
built on his team for a couple seasons, I think he could.
yeah. And one thing that people don't bring up about Erik Ten Hag, especially the Premier League fans who really don't know anything about football, one of the main key reasons why Ten Hag has been so successful at Ajax, apart from his tactics and his motivation to the players, is the staff around him. Overmars and Van der Sar, the sporting director and the, I don't know, transfer director or something, they have made a great job at Ajax. I mean, Ajax before Ten Hag and those came in, they weren't that good. PSV were winning the league every year, and when they came in,
Hmm.
this happened. So a lot of the success is put down to Ten Hag when the two men behind it, Overmars and Van der Sar, who did a very good job, do not get credited for that. Do you see that as a weakness? I mean, if we get in Ten Hag and expect everything that he has done at Ajax, when a lot of it can be contributed to the good sporting director that have signed all these great players and great talents for Ten Hag to use?
I think Ten Hag really holds to his beliefs, and he has a vision of what he wants and how he wants it. Whether our board listens or not is an entirely different story, and how that would affect our team and how we play is something I cannot predict. But I think he does have a clear vision of what he wants, and well, the whole sporting director situation at Ajax would probably have helped him, as they should. Um, I don't think it's a completely hands-off thing for him.
Yeah.
I think he knows what he wants. But let me ask you, do you think he would play the youth more, considering what what players he's currently working with at Ajax?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can see the difference in generations of players and so on. The older generation, it's more technical ability, it's more dribbling and so on. Whilst the newer players, they are suited to pressing. They know they have to press, and that's one thing that they have to have on their resume. It's one of the most important stuff for a lot of young players. The pressing aspect of the game, the running, the working hard. Even if you're a right winger, you have to work hard. Whilst before it wasn't like that. It was the defenders and some of the midfielders who did the dirty work. Whilst the attacking players spent all of their qualities and energy on the attacking part. So he will definitely be using more academy players, buying more young players like he does at Ajax Amsterdam. He already has one Dutch guy in the Parisian team, which is Xavi Simons, which me and you have predicted to start for Ten Hag in his upcoming lineup. Plays a 4-3-3, very attacking. The wing backs will suit him. They're very fast, very pressing, and very good. But maybe a player like Paredes wouldn't work that well. But he has good passing, and Erik ten Hag usually likes to have a lot of possession and control the tempo of the game. But then comes the attackers. I mean, Mbappe, big question mark on his PSG future. Most likely will leave the club at the end of the season. But then we have Messi and Neymar, and can he really get them to pressure the way Anthony and, I don't know, his left wing at Ajax, but can he really do that? That's a big question. What can you say about the pressing and the youth from Ten Hag?
The wingers thing isn't the same thought that I had when you said about, because wingers are very important in Ten Hag's play. So can we get that out of Neymar and Messi? Who Neymar especially is really, I don't see him as a winger anymore. Yeah. So with Ten Hag there, he would definitely play him there. Is Neymar going to do that? Is Messi going to do that? That's another question. Along with, we keep saying pressing and attacking, everybody has to defend.
Yeah.
This is a very team-heavy type of philosophy. So, which is also something that we lack. So the question is, if he was to come in, how quickly would he implement those beliefs onto the team, and can he do that? Can he make this team compatible?
Yeah.
What steps would he take? That is another question that I have. The youth will definitely have their spot, because I think that's his forte.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we have Xavi here. We might even see some others who have not featured with the first team as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, Paris Saint-Germain have one of the best academies in the world, and we're not talking about taking them into the first team. I'm talking about raw talent in the academy. Paris being the city of talents. I remember a stat showing that percentage of players playing at the World Cup born or come from Paris is a huge number for every national team, not just the French one. And that just shows how much there is to use and adapt to the team. Talked about Simons. He can use a player like Michoud. Michoud very comfortable on the ball, works very hard, good offensively and defensively.
Absolutely.
He can use Ismail Gharbi on the wing, fast, hard working midfielder / winger. Bichiabu in defense, good on the ball, very tall. So at Paris Saint-Germain, he will have even better talents at what he had at Ajax Amsterdam. But it still comes to a good sporting director that can manage these youngsters and get them to play for the first team and buy in where we lack and where our academy doesn't get anyone. Like, I haven't seen a good striker from the PSG academy. But in Ajax, I mean, he has used Tadic, who is an experienced player, very good finishing wise and so on, but not that good on the ball or dribbling. So under Ten Hag, we may see some players that don't have that big of an image, but can give him what he really needs from a player. And one other thing good with Ten Hag is, and we are seeing it at Barcelona, it's that mix between experience and youth. At Paris Saint-Germain,
Yes.
if we look at most of our starting lineups, it's mostly the experience. Pochettino usually goes for the experience over that youth and hunger. He plays the players like Danilo Pereira, Wijnaldum, week in, week out, whilst Ten Hag will not do that. He won't do that because he doesn't care that much about experience. He really cares about what the players bring to the team and if they fit into his philosophy. And that's a very, very, very good thing. Because I'm tired of seeing players playing and starting for Paris Saint-Germain only because of their high FIFA rating. I'm tired of that.
You know, our youth would flourish under Ten Hag. I would love to see what Ismail Garbi looks like under him.
Yeah,
Because he has so much energy, especially when he plays in probably 30 minutes or so. But I think our youth would look great. And what you said about, experience versus youth and hunger and stuff, I think the majority of PSG fans would rather see that mixed bag of
yeah,
a good amount of experience and a decent amount of youth.
yeah,
And that combination of both, because it keeps the older players young.
yeah.
In a way, it reinvents them. You can learn from your youth so much. There's so much freshness that comes, and the youth can develop a lot quicker when they're with their older teammates. So
True.
I think he would do that. He would be great for that.
Very true. Ten Hag, I mean, we didn't do a percentage for Conte before.
Oh yeah.
We can do it quickly. I mean, Conte likely to come to PSG. I would say 7, very likely to happen, sadly. And if it will work, I would put, again, a 6. His mentality, his formation will work. But other than that, I think it will be a failure at Paris Saint-Germain. What do you have to say about Antonio Conte?
Same as you, a little bit lower than 7, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him coming. Would it work? 6. Yeah.
And Ten Hag, possibility of joining Paris Saint-Germain, haven't seen that much links, plus the competition from United, I would say maybe a 3. But working, I would even say an 8. The only thing that maybe wouldn't work is in the Champions League, with him not having that much experience in the Champions League and a bit of bottling inside of him. But other than that, he would really put in a structure, put in his philosophy, and build a great team. What's your opinion?
Well, the likelihood of him coming is between 4 and 5 for me. I don't see him coming, at least not right now. Will it work? If the owners have patience, 7. That would take a couple years.
Yeah,
It's not going to work right away.
exactly.
They do, we're very lucky. 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years from now. Probably say 2.
Hmm?
If we're being kind. But
Yeah.
yes.
And moving on to another possible, predictable, and someone that will work. For me, this is the best option. Galtier knows Ligue 1. Galtier knows PSG. Galtier is French. Galtier is a hard man. He has all the qualities to succeed at Paris Saint-Germain. There's only one question mark on Galtier's CV, and that is that he has never managed a big club, gone from Saint-Étienne to Lille, and now at Nice. But one thing we can take away from all his stints is that he really builds a team. He really builds a team. Saint-Étienne, ever since he left, now are struggling in the relegation zone. Lille, a team that he took from the relegation zone to winning the league and something that no one thought was possible. Now, as soon as he's left, Lille are a shambles of their former selves. And he has gone to Nice, a team that was facing a lot of economical issues last season, and has gotten them to nearly the top of the summit, knocking PSG out from the Coupe de France as well. Galtier, Princess, what do you have to say about him?
He ticks a lot of the boxes. I'm not afraid about him not coaching a big club yet. That doesn't concern me at all because he knows a lot of stuff. He understands the game like the back of his hand. And I think he actually would benefit from having a big project. Our links to him are very small. So this is kind of a wish list kind of thing. I think he understands I think he would know how to use our players.
Yeah.
It seems to me that would be the case.
Yeah, I mean, Galtier is also a very adaptable manager. Came into Nice, mostly uses the same players from that they had, made some smart signings, and then built on from that. So even though we're talking about PSG need a foundation, PSG need a futuristic project, Galtier, when he comes in, he will still get what's done. So he's a mix between the Antonio Conte and Zidane, who will do something quickly, but he's also a Ten Hag, who will do it for the future. I mean, at Lille, he lost Nicolas Pepe, Osimhen, and still went on to win the league. He lost his two best players and still went on to win the league. So imagine Galtier without losing his players, with having much better players, with having a much larger budget on spending on players that he wants and he knows what fits into his system.
Yes.
Plus, he respects PSG. I have seen so many interviews he had. I mean, he is the opposition that we have met so many times in Ligue 1, ever since he was at Saint-Étienne. And all of his interviews have been respectful. Before the Real Madrid game, he said, I want Paris Saint-Germain to win. It's good for French football. So imagine the stuff he will say and the respect he will have for PSG as the Paris Saint-Germain manager. He has gone across top clubs in Ligue 1. But now he will come to the top club in Ligue 1. And he will really feel that this is his chance. He has deserved throughout these years. And he will take it. The hunger in this man, in his eyes, in his look, it's excitement for us PSG fans.
Look at him now. He looks serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sounds perfect. So are you not worried about his links to Marseille? I mean, he used to play at Marseille. He was born in Marseille. You could kind of infer where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I mean,
is that a problem?
No, I mean, it's the same with the Zidane stuff. But, I mean, Galtier saying stuff like, I hope Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions Leagues, show that he really has no attachment to Marseille. He really doesn't have that people think managers have. Like there are managers who have supported Real Madrid, who have managed Barca. I mean, Luis Enrique, he was a Real Madrid player, then moved to Barca, became a Barca manager. So this he was a fan and played there. It doesn't really mean anything anymore, and has never really
I
meant
know.
that big. I mean, I remember a manager. This was before, and it became a big thing at the time. I think he went from Celtic, and at that time it was a lot of religious rivalry as well. I think Celtic is more Catholic, and Rangers are more Protestant or something. Uh,
Protestant, yeah.
yeah, and he made that change. It was so big and so on, but he still made that change, and he succeeded in his new club. So I don't think that is him having links with Marseille will have anything. I mean, if you look at his stats for Nice, 4-4-2 plays, very hard on that. 1.96 points per game, 19 wins, 6 draws, and 7 losses. And this is a Nice team that wasn't that great that last season, and he's second in the league and in the Coupe de France final. So already in one season he has done much more than was expected at Nice, and I want that at Paris Saint Germain. I want that.
Yeah, no, I find that very important and emphasis on the fact that he knows Liga. Like,
Yeah,
he knows the league, and that's something that so far all the managers that we talked about didn't have. And I think that's a really key thing because there's no shock value with him. He's been
yeah,
here his whole life as a player and as a coach.
yeah. I mean,
Advantage for us if we get him
yeah,
because he's our boogeyman.
yeah. As you said before, these boxes. Galtier is the one that ticks off the most boxes. He isn't even a risky manager to take in, and he's so good. I mean, there's a high percent of that he will succeed at Paris Saint Germain. So why
Yeah,
PSG are not going after him and not hearing that many links for it? It's sad.
because he doesn't have any European trophy. Well, a lot of our things don't have European trophy, but I think
Yeah,
it's the experience of, you know, again, this is a manager who has not proven himself playing in Europe as a manager. So
yeah,
I think that's what it is. They look for the managers that are a little bit more superstar-ish or people at least that people really want.
yeah,
Imagine if there are some English clubs I think that were looking at Galtier. Imagine once they get him and he does well, would probably be calling his name.
yeah,
Follow the hype a lot of the times. Um, Galtier is not afraid to exploit your downfall. He's literally doing that to us right now. He has done that to us
yeah,
3 times. This season, imagine last season's a different story.
yeah,
He's not afraid to do any of that. So why not? You know,
yeah.
it'd be great.
And I remember one thing about I love about him. I remember all the Nice games. He was screaming for the whole 90 minutes. This is a passionate guy. Big difference from
Yes.
Pochettino. This is a guy that's a man. He will really show what he means to the players. In a good way. Not like Antonio Conte, who will fight with the players. This guy will put them under his shoulder, tell them the truth, but tell it in an honest, hard way for them to understand and show that he wants to win and they want to win. And I
Yeah,
mean,
and oh, go ahead.
yeah, as you said, finding the weaknesses in a team. He has played Paris Saint Germain with a Nice team that he has just joined, and he has played us 3 times this season, winning twice and drawing once, which was at the Pas de Bretagne. So he's unbeaten against us in 3 games. No team has been unbeaten against Paris Saint Germain this season. Even Manchester City, Pep Guardiola couldn't do it. Even Real Madrid couldn't do it. Of course, Paris Saint Germain in the Champions League is a different team, but it still shows the quality of Galtier. He has the motivation to the players and he has that tactical awareness.
Yeah, he does. And also, when after he knocked us out the Coupe de France, his post match interview, he had a lot more compassionate things to say about it, especially on Xavi, than Poch did. I was actually genuinely shocked. Yeah, it was refreshing to hear the words of um, manager that knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's something we really lack. It's something we really miss, especially now. So,
exactly.
yeah.
But one big thing we haven't even talked about, it's the youth. It's the youth. I mean, all the good things with the managers we have talked about, Galtier is that. He has the youth, and that he can build a foundation like Ten Hag. He has that manliness and hardness like Antonio Conte. He's a French guy. He respects Paris Saint-Germain like Zidane. What more can you ask? As I said, with the talents. I mean, at Nice, his average squad against us the last time was, I believe, 25 years old. He doesn't even he had Dante in the squad. That was his only experienced player. He took us out from the Coupe de France with our third choice keeper. No, fourth
Right?
choice
Oh my
keeper.
god, that's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
He has taken Todibo to such high level. Players like Atal. Look at Guiri. Look at Dolberg under him.
Wahlberg, especially, yeah.
Guiri is looking like he's probably gonna move from Nice this season because he's been incredible. And this is all down to Galtier. The midfield, I believe Fofana, Thuram, which he was amazing against us last time. Players he has loaned in like Kluivert, Rosario.
Yes, I want to point out Thuram for a second. When we played the first time, the first game against Nice this season,
Yeah.
I just compared the performance of Thuram then to the last time we faced them.
Yeah.
What a difference! He's much more comfortable in what he's doing. He was more shaky in the beginning because less experience, but the development has been great on him. And look, is there any way we can make like Galtier sound like more of an angel than this? Because I think he would be perfect for our youth. I think he would really like to mix up the bag. He knows his stuff, and
Yeah.
just uh, you know that's great. That'd be great. Imagine what he would do with our youth, Simons and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, him being French as well, he would want to use that French academy. He would want French players from the academy going up and becoming first team players. And he would love to bring the Champions League to France. Because he would really be a big hero in France, in Paris, for the players, for everyone.
The answer to Nasser's prayers is right here. The way we're making it sound,
Yeah.
it's right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean,
But that is a risk to take.
of course, but I believe that PSG right now should take risks. Because for so long we have gone for these experienced managers, big name experienced players, and look where it has gotten us to. A Champions League exit against an ass Real Madrid side. An ass Real Madrid side. Oof. Please, Nasser, watch this video. Get rid of Pochettino. Get in Galtier. I think that even if this idea of wanting Wenger at the club, Galtier will work great with him. First of all, they're French, and he must have a lot of respect for Wenger from his time at Arsenal and so on.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so mad that Galtier isn't our manager right now, because he should be. He deserves, and that's what we need. The fans need it. The players need it. because having
They need it. Need it.
so many what do you say? Exclamation marks? No?
Oh, oh, now you.
Now you messed me up.
What do you say? What do you say?
I can't say it anymore because you threw me off.
Yeah.
Exclamation.
Exclamation mark. So many from me in Stockholm to you and to Paris. That's how many I needed, and then so many marks. Talking about the possibility of him coming to Paris from all the reports and so on. I'm still gonna leave it low. But
It's very low.
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put it as low as maybe Ten Hag, but I would still put it low because right now the interest isn't there from Paris Saint-Germain. So maybe 4.5, 5.
Okay.
And you?
That's very kind of you. 3.
No! No. Yo, we need some good karma here. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. We need him.
If I jinx it, it might work. Like if I say 3.
Oh, all right.
10.
No, I think it's an impossibility that Galtier will join Paris Saint-Germain. I put it as a 0. Please, God.
I'm shocked he's even on this
Please
list.
join,
Honestly,
please join. Yeah. But and how he would work at Paris Saint-Germain, I'm saying a 9. 100%. 9.5.
8. I'll give it an 8.
Yo, don't be disrespectful to the GOAT. The
Excuse
new
me,
GOAT
8 is
in
really
town.
high.
No, but it should be higher. He has the mentality, he has the tactics, he has the youth, he's French, he loves PSG, he's hungry.
Okay, but you're saying if it works, you know?
Yeah,
I think
it will definitely
8
work.
is good.
No. Yo,
8 means
don't
it works.
don't disrespect my GOAT like that.
Oh,
Galtier.
goodness.
Galtier. Moving on to some funny topics. Allegri. I mean, what the fuck?
How is that funny?
No, because we've already linked with 2 bald guys, Zidane and Ten Hag, but at least they have something to back it up. And then we get this guy. I mean, I've seen what Juventus fans say about him. He's shit. He's
Actually, we're linked to him last season, though.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for us. He's too old. It doesn't work. He only works in Serie A with these boring players, Bonucci, Chiellini types. Vlahovic is carrying him. He will probably go out from the Champions League today.
You know, he started playing well now.
No, he hasn't. I mean, he has won the games in the scuff of the neck with individual players. It's the same thing as Pochettino because I've seen what Juventus fans say about him. He isn't good.
No, it's too slow. It's too slow and too defensive for me. It's a strategic way of parking the bus. It's not parking the bus, but it's very defensive, very slow. It's meant for older players, which might work. No, never mind. Let me not say that because you have to be really. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
sorry.
you have to have 10 Ramos in defense, 10 I don't know Verrattis, and then 10 Messis up top who can finish off
Everybody's
the small
defending.
chances. Yeah. No, we don't want that.
No, yeah, not impressive. He's improved. He was literally almost relegation zone if he wasn't there already, and now he's I think 4th. Last time I checked, I don't know. I might have checked. Yeah. So since Vlahovic came, he's really been doing a lot better. I haven't seen Juventus since Vlahovic came. That's very bad. But I was bored watching Juventus.
Yeah. I'm already bored with PSG, but I think that getting Allegri in, it will be even more boring. And
It's slightly better though.
yeah,
Slightly.
Yeah, maybe better performances, but more
Mm-hmm.
boring football. Because under
Oh
Pochettino,
yeah.
at least sometimes with him being an open manager, sometimes it's a bit funny. But no, it's a big no. It's a big no for me for Allegri.
With all that defending, they were still losing a lot of games.
Yeah, and they haven't
Yeah.
played good against big teams in Serie A. I mean,
It
Atalanta
sounds like us.
dominate. Yeah, exactly. Winning against the
Mm-hmm.
small teams consistently, but doing literally nothing against the big teams. And coming to this guy, you can start.
What a picture.
You can start. He's like,
No, actually, you should.
he's like Nasser. Give me the chance. Give me the chance. But Thiago Motta.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you're gonna talk about the experience, he doesn't have it. If we're gonna talk about, yeah, I mean, for me, Thiago Motta is someone that if we don't get like Ten Hag and Galtier, I would rather have Thiago Motta than Zidane. Maybe not Zidane, but more than Antonio Conte and Allegri, definitely. But
Okay.
I don't think that it will work. Maybe not yet, because we can see he's at Spezia. He was at Genoa where he got sacked. He was at the under 19 before at PSG. I think he just left, but he's maybe a manager like Antonio Conte. A short term, very temperament manager that will not work, especially with the players we have. Yes, you can use that argument. He loves the club and cares for the club so much, but I mean, I care for PSG as well, but it doesn't mean that I will work at Paris Saint-Germain. What do you have to say?
Um, I this could probably open a whole other door. I am kind of I don't know where I stand. Oh, I know where I stand. I think the answer is not right now, at least not in the immediate future. Um, but I see both the pros and the cons of having him. He was a former player. I always see me personally, former players are iffy because you know you can get them because they're former players, but if they mess up, then whatever they've done for you kind of like gets looked at very strangely. It's like, ah, yes, he was a good player, but then he came as a coach. You know, no, I don't want them booing Thiago Motta. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want them mistreating him every time we lose in the Champions League. That is the scenario I put him in. How would he fare in that scenario? That scares me because he's a respected player. He loves the club. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, one of the pros is that he loves the club. He knows it. One of the youth, I mean, he did coach the youth briefly. Um, it's if we're talking about cultural reset, that probably could be
I
one
mean,
of
this
his
is a
strong
total
points.
reset. This is total reset.
It is, but he works with a lot of young players as well. So, of course, I don't think he's going to get the desired results that would make him
Yeah.
seem ready. But he has a lot more to learn. I will be looking into his games now.
You
So I
said that
can
he
really
won
get a real feel.
Manager of the
What'd you
Month?
say?
You said that he won
He
Manager
did,
of the Month?
Serie A. For beating AC Milan. Yeah, it was a Mota versus Latan moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
the two
so.
players that have not been replaced ever since they left. I mean, yeah, we have had good
Yeah.
strikers and so on, but the mentality of Zlatan, we don't have anyone near to that. I mean, yeah. Maybe Zlatan as the manager. Who says no?
I say no. What?
It will be
No, no,
fun.
no.
It will be exciting. I mean, he will.
One is
He,
different.
no, I would want to have. No, I not want Zlatan ahead of Galtier, because it will be so much fun. I mean, imagine Neymar coming to a training with his whole head is bruised.
Okay.
All right, maybe not, maybe not.
No,
But
okay, wait a minute. What? Okay, who's to say that Mota doesn't bring in the spiciness?
oh
The
no,
temperamental part
no,
that
no,
you
no, no.
mentioned.
He will, he will.
He would. This is passion to a point where it's like, is this
Going to be good. I don't want him fighting with people at the club. Like that's all the stuff that you risk when
Yeah.
you join a former club.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago Motta, I mean, the players will be tired at the end of the day, and the staff. He will always be like, oh, the good old days, me, Zlatan, Thiago Silva, we managed to beat every team like 5-0 and so on, and now you can't even beat
Oh my god, that's
Bordeaux.
gonna be
He will always be like, oh, the good old days, and look at you now. He'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, Marquinhos, I remember when you and Verratti were young. And yeah, he will be like, Thiago Motta will be like a dad that has gone, bought milk, and just came back, and has realized that everything has changed, but he still wants it to be as when he left.
I don't think it'll be exactly the dad that bought milk. I think he has been following it enough, because when I saw the pre or post interview, I don't know, I asked him about when we got knocked out by Real Madrid, and
Yeah.
so when he was speaking about it, his mouth was talking, but his eyes looked very sad. It was visibly difficult for him to even say it. And when he was speaking about, like how the players must have felt and all that, you can see in his eyes that he was remembering the time of when he used to lose the Champions League and how that felt. There was a genuine
Yeah.
sadness. It looked almost painful for him to recall that memory. And besides the fact that he's probably waiting for this job,
Yeah.
there is that he cares. That's something we lack, right?
Yeah.
That's a plus point for him. He has pure intentions. He has good motives for that. He cares about the club, again, but he also cares about its growth, which would mean that any decision that he makes would probably be for the betterment of
Yeah.
the club. So, also the fact that he knows the players, there is no real language barrier. He's multilingual, so that's not a issue. His standards are probably through the roof.
Yeah.
I think he would do well with younger players since he's dealt with it for probably his entire career as a coach. Yeah. I think, did he not coach Xavi and Michu? Did he not do that? He was at the youth. It's just stuff for me to Google.
Maybe like the
But yeah.
first season of Simons, maybe. But yeah, I
don't
mean,
think it was
that's a good point you brought up. It's that care for the club, because our previous managers, they have mostly cared about their own managerial career. Of course, they want to succeed with PSG, but it's more for their CV. But
Yeah.
Thiago Motta he will be really satisfied if he can take PSG back to a point where they deserve to be at. But
Yes, but right now I don't think he's ready.
yeah, and on the opposite of Thiago Motta, his dark brother from another mother,
Oh my god.
it's Zumana Kamara. I mean, similar, both played at nearly the same time. Kamara retired a bit before. Both played at Paris Saint-Germain. Both became the under-19 managers. Kamara also worked under Emery and Tuchel, so a bit more direct experience. A little bit similar to Arteta under Pep Guardiola. But is there any big differences from Kamara and Thiago Motta, apart from Thiago Motta managing some other clubs other than the under 19, but Kamara having that, being an understudy to two great managers or one great manager?
Oh my gosh. Give Emery his flowers.
No, that remontada. I mean, I've never been that sad. I didn't even go to school. That's how sad I was.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's truly... It was tragic. I did go to school, unfortunately.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, a harder person, stronger person. I wasn't that strong at that time. I was weak.
I had no choice. There's nothing to do with...
Yeah, I mean... I remember all the Barca fans I went to, and I was like, oh, 4-0, how does it feel? And then when Roberto scored that goal, I was like, all right. But luckily for me, I mean, the Barca fans, they felt for me. So when they came, they didn't come like, oh, you lost. They were like, you lost. But we understand.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... I feel like Papoose is has his head on his shoulders a little bit more. I think that his time under Tuchel, especially, just being with a variety of coaches over the years, has really benefited him. You see it working practically with the youth right now. I mean, I just saw the first half of the game that we played. Youth played today. I mean, we got knocked out, but still. So far, I think he would bring a much needed order into the first team. And also the advantage of he loves the club, he's been there forever, he knows some of the players very closely over the course of several years. That has its benefits. He has a great philosophy, because when you watch those videos where he's with the youth, you know that thing on PSG's channel where they show the youth and all that stuff? Yeah. The parts where Papoose is talking to the kids and their training sessions and stuff, he's teaching them, this is how you have to be. And of course, he's not going to baby the first team, you know? But the values that he instills into those to the youth is just, I was looking at it like, oh my goodness, it's like we're starved from it, their first team. Yeah. It would really benefit us. I wouldn't mind having him for the rest of the season.
Yes.
I just don't think it would take us very far into, like, you know, as a long-term manager right now. Yeah. Yeah.
He needs more experience.
You can determine that, you know, after, I mean, if it happens, if he does end up taking over, like from now to, you know, the end of the season. Yeah. That's something you determine, like where he is and stuff. But yeah, he can do big things.
Yeah, I really think that he can have a big impact. It's maybe a little bit similar to Oli when he came to United, and that boom in the beginning he had. Kamara will definitely have a similar boom, because he will change stuff. He knows the bad stuff. He will use the youth. So it's something for the next season instead of dying out this season. But as you said, the values and that he cares for the club, it will be a big difference, and it will be something for us to enjoy for the rest of the season. Excitement, love, passion, and even though he will only be there as a caretaker and then maybe go back to the under-19, but that can even help him find a new job to a Ligue 1 team or something. that can even help him, maybe, who knows, becoming the PSG manager in the coming future. So I want it to happen, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I think it's needed. You know, cultural reset, soul that they're looking for, the soul, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think he would be good for that.
But yeah.
Oh, and he'll play the youth too. Why did I
Yeah,
not
yeah.
bring that up?
No, I
Yeah.
said it, but yeah, exactly. He will start doing stuff, building for the next season. And yeah, I mean, I was so saddened when Poch started all these bums against Bordeaux. Wijnaldum, yeah, again. Yeah,
We
again.
didn't need to do that. We really didn't. Those kids could have played.
Yeah, I mean, Pochettino, we were always like, oh, maybe isn't the right time, but this season, especially the second half of the season, he has had so many times to play the youth, and has always gone against that. But yeah, Pochettino. But I mean, we have covered all the potential replacements, the linked ones, the possible, the dream, the hope ones, and I think we have done a great job on it. What do you think, Princess?
I think this was a very thorough, especially since we stopped rating them halfway through. I don't know. I think it was beyond halfway. But anyway, yeah,
I didn't
it's
wanna.
good.
Maybe I didn't subconsciously didn't want to rate Conte because I really, 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 really don't want to. If I have to put a list, Galtier first, Ten Hag second, Mota third, Kamara fourth. Oh no, Zidane third, Mota fourth, Kamara fifth, Conte sixth, and Allegri seventh. If you had to do one, what do you want and would work?
I don't know if I would rank all seven of them. But first few. First would be Galtier.
Yeah.
Second, maybe Ten Hag. Um, third, probably. Would it be bad if I said Conte? Maybe Zidane.
Yeah.
It's one of those two. Uh, maybe Mota after that. Yeah. Still not. My mind is still not made up about the Mota thing. I'm gonna have to watch him a little bit more.
Mm.
Yeah, I have to really keep up with that. But his name was on the list, so what was I supposed to do?
True. Well, Princess, as usual, big thanks for making this video a possibility. It came out great, but big kudos to you.
No problem. Thank you for having me again.
As always, I mean, the people enjoyed you on the channel, so of course you will come back.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, guys. Mhm.
But yeah, I hope that our opinions have changed or motivated your guys' opinions more. Make sure to comment down below if there are any managers we missed and talking points. Why do you agree on what we said? Do you have any disagreement? But as usual, make sure to like this video for more PSGINT shows. Subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel to never miss out. I mean, it's an exciting time for Paris Saint-Germain right now. Big question marks on a lot of positions, players, managers, sporting directors, and we will talk about it, everything here on the PSGINT YouTube channel. So make sure put on notifications so you don't miss it. And other than that, make sure to have a nice day. And as usual, à la Paris!